Yeah, so just as folks are coming into the room, I'll just quickly introduce myself. It's Rahman Jamaal. I also grew up by Rahman Jamaal or Rahman Jamaal, and different ways of saying it. It's all spelled the same. So if you're doing a Google search, it's Rahman. Jamal with two A's though, Jamaal, and then you'll be able to find a lot of my work out there. But like what I was saying, I had this incredible opportunity growing up when I was going in when I was in college. I was halfway through, and I studied film at USC and had an opportunity to be in a friend of mine's film. His name was Brandon Saunier. He went on to write for television shows like The Blacklist. Right now, he's the showrunner for LA's Finest, which is on Netflix. But yeah, he was. We were friends in our freshman year. I always grew up writing rhymes. It was just a passion of mine. It was how I expressed myself. It was how I got my feelings out, and was rhyming in the hallways one night in the dorms, and he said, "Yo, I like what you're doing, and would you want to play a role? I have this idea for a film that uh, that I could see you playing the role for." And so we were all very young, in our late teens. By the time we ended up shooting the film, we were 20 years old. Was like the oldest. He was 20, I was 20. He set the record at Sundance for the youngest filmmaker to have a feature film accepted into the festival at that time. So it was a really exciting time to be young and in Hollywood and bumping shoulders with celebrities at Sundance. It was really cool. Um, all right, we got a minute till we are starting officially. So, just to give you guys a little example of what I'm going to be sharing with you guys, just going to do a quick demonstration here. Let's see. We at Where are you at? There we go. Boom. All right. Okay. So hopefully you'll be able to hear all right.
We on workshop one? Hey, workshop one?
This is workshop one.
Oh
Welcome.
shit, my shit
Has
broke.
just begun. It is 3 o'clock, not 3:01. So if you're here, you are right on time. We're gonna drop rhymes. I'm gonna show you the kind of formulas that you can take and go off with your mind. I gotta say we're at the precipice. Gotta give a big shout out to my girl Jessie Bliss, along with everybody that's in here to play. We'll start at the top of the list with AJ. Yeah, you know what it is. You hear the song flow. Gotta give a shout out to Andrea and Alejandro. You know what's up. Yeah, from different angles. See, just like angels. See, I'm seeing all kinds of people up in the room. Yeah, this is the grid. No, this ain't no Zoom. Got a shout out to Andy Zoo. If I said it wrong, please excuse. But yo, still, it's nice to meet ya, Angelina and Armando. This is how we gonna do it, like Rondo in the hoop. Yes, straight up, it's factual, natural. Shout outs to Axel and down the list to Celeste. And I see Cole at S.SF USD. Yes, shout out to Daniel Lomeli. You know what it is. Ed Quinones, Eric Pablo. I got the hot flow. You know what it is. From Haoyan to Helen, I'm telling these freestyles off of my melon. You know how it is. We straight gelling together. That's how we do it. We put words together, make it sound clever in any kind of weather. Right out, it's raining outside, but still, I'm just still coming and raining inside. Like with my pride, it's royalty. That's right. I stay true to the game. I got the loyalty going down. Shout out to Isabella. The names are switching, but it's okay. I'm still the illest fella that you seen on the grid this week. We gonna be doing this right here, showing a different way to speak. Maybe you can teach or reach a higher plateau with this rap flow. And so I'm not going to take too much time because there's a big old list of y'all and I don't have as much time to rhyme, but we're going to get right into this. So thank you. I'm very happy to be here. I'm happy to share some ideas with y'all. I see the hearts, I see the love. Ooh, boy, man, this makes me feel good. Okay. I'm going to pause this beat for a second. He's playing in the background. I just...
Hey, how you doing?
But here, for real though, I want you to imagine a time where we're going into the future and humans have evolved into like supercomputers. Everybody can freestyle. It's just like second nature. I want you to imagine a world where this was available to everybody. It was almost just like you talk with your friends. It's just freestyle. It was just as natural as talking. Okay. Imagine that future. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a real brief introduction to the organization that I am a part of, that I joined while I was in college. And this was kind of my first hip hop family. I grew up writing rhymes. I was the only rapper in my school. I just had a passion for it. But I didn't have a community to really share my passion with. So I just kind of, kept my raps to myself. I wrote them almost like writing in a diary. Then when I got to college, I joined this college club. It was a hip hop club and it was called Hip Hop Congress. And it was its first year as a student organization. And in the subsequent years, I ended up joining my freshman year. And then it ended up getting passed off to me. I ended up running the club until I graduated for the next 3 years. And during that time was when I was in this film that you guys heard the audio from. That film's called The Beat. After I graduated, though, Hip Hop Congress ended up pretty much spreading virally throughout the country and around the world. So right now it is available as a resource for young people still. And each of you, if you are inspired and want to organize around hip hop culture or anything having to do with that and spreading awareness, Hip Hop Congress is a resource that's available to you. So I'm going to give you guys a brief history of Hip Hop Congress. Very brief. It was founded in 1993, and it was founded as an artist collective initially. That was in Oxnard, California. A man by the name of Real Robinson. He's a recording artist. He was a rapper, MC, wanted to see artists helping each other more than competing for resources. So it was kind of like a hip hop cooperative, artist cooperative idea. He met a gentleman by the name of Shamako Noble from San Jose. Shamako was also a rapper, but also a community organizer. And so when they got together and he shared this idea of a hip hop Congress, they started the first chapters in Northern and Southern California, one in San Jose, California, and the other in Oxnard, California. So that was going along cool. And then in 2000, they found that somebody else was using the name Hip Hop Congress online. They were like, they got a student organization at the University of Southern California called Hip Hop Congress. They're taking our name. We can't let that happen. Let's get in touch with these guys and see what's up. Let them know we already got the Hip Hop Congress. So they called up Jordan Bromley and Ron Gubitz, two students that were studying at the University of Southern California. They're like, yo, we got this art network called Hip Hop Congress. You guys are using our name. We've had it since 93. What are y'all doing? And they're like, well, we were hoping to bring artists to campus to spread awareness about different social issues. And so we just thought of the name Hip Hop Congress. And then they kind of sat there. They stared each other down for a little bit. No, not really. But they ended up coming up to the conclusion that, wait a second, these two ideas actually could serve each other. And so in 2001, they combined, and the first school chapters of Hip Hop Congress were launched. The first one was at USC, and that was when I discovered them. They're just launching for the first time. And then one of the founders, Ron, went on to study master's in education at the University of Indiana. He started another chapter of Hip Hop Congress in the Midwest. Then we had a first national conference in San Jose. But right around this time, this was when social media was starting to kind of, have an effect, and people were, we put out the Congress mission was kind of out there on the website, and people started just wanting to start chapters all over. The next conference was at USC. That was one that I hosted. Then in 2004, we all met in the national conference in St. Louis, Missouri, for the third national conference. And this was an important one because this was when we brought a woman by the name of Martha Diaz, who had been researching and archiving this idea of hip hop education. Now, this was when artists take what they do creatively and they pass it on to the next generation, teaching workshops, really bringing in their experience as artists and putting it into a learning form for people who were wanting to learn more. So this inspired a lot of us to go back into our communities and basically write curriculums, not as teachers, but as artists. Like, how would we pass down what we do to the next generation so that they can take what we've learned and run with it and make it their own? And so between the years of 2005, 2010, we held an annual national conference in a different city every summer: Chicago, Boulder, Colorado, Athens, Ohio, Biloxi, Mississippi, Seattle, Washington, and Detroit, Michigan. So a lot is happening here. This is a picture from one of the conferences. I think this was Chicago. Okay, so 2015, excuse me, that's my phone. We start a revisioning process. This is actually when I became the executive director of Hip Hop Congress. After I graduated, I was started off as a chapter leader. Then I became a regional coordinator. So all the chapters in California, I was kind of helping facilitate communication between. Then, because of the education work that I was doing, became the national curricular advisor. I've been going to a lot of schools, working with a lot of young people, sharing what you're about to learn today. And at that point, the opportunity and door opened to become executive director to see where we could take this from here. Well, 2019, we did launch the country's first statewide hip hop education and equity initiative, again with Martha Diaz, my original inspiration to do that, as well as AME Schools, Arts, Media, and Entertainment, the Hip Hop Education Center, and Hip Hop Congress. This presentation at the grid is part of this relationship that was building. So we started in 2019, then 2020 hits and COVID, and the world just stops rotating. We had to pivot, just like each one of you have had to pivot. Was a wild time in history. We're still in it. But we did continue building, and 2021, we started launching our summer and fall institutes, which are bringing together hip hop educators from all over the country and around the world. And that brings us up to 2022, where attendees at this very grid summit are learning a brief history of Hip Hop Congress. Now you're all caught up. Thank you for your attention. We're going to go right into some backstory, because if you are interested and want to develop some skills in hip hop, it's important that you have some context as to what this is. Is it just a cool way to entertain your friends? Well, yes, it is, but it isn't just that. It also is connected very deeply to our history and our struggle as human beings to find freedom within ourselves, within our communities, in the world at large. And when you do get to understand why hip hop came out in the time that it did, it gives you more of a context for the times that you are living in now. So I want to share with you two quick trailers of one, what was happening on the East Coast, which is what most people who study hip hop, well, there's a lot of documentation around where hip hop started in New York. There is less documentation about what was similarly going on the West Coast, but we will get into that. So I'm going to share this. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, I think it's this one. And boom. So this right here, hopefully you're going to be able to see this. I think maybe when I went into full screen, you weren't able to, so I'm just going to keep it on small. But this is a trailer from a documentary that came out not too long ago called Rebel Kings, and it gives you a little bit of context for why this thing called hip hop even emerged. So real quick. Enjoy. Oops.
The city was on the edge of bankruptcy.
The Bronx was like a world of its own.
In the early 70s, man,
Crime was like the major income of the Bronx.
There were gangs literally in every corner. The violence was everywhere. You could feel the tension in the air. You could see the fights across the street. You could hear the shouts in the nighttime.
The South Bronx Fort Apache was out of control. They were running through the streets. They were burning everything. I mean, pandemonium hit.
We lost a member that they viciously murdered him out there in the street. Now it's an eye for an eye.
The Bronx was going to be bathed in blood.
How rumors spread, there was not a gang in the whole of New York that was not aware of what's happening.
It was like the movie The Warriors when the ladies on the radio talking about, hey, boppers, you got to make that move.
Let's get down to it, boppers. We're going to have to do better out there.
Peace after the treaty came instantaneous.
President Young Sinners, Vice President Young Sinners, Vice President Young Saints.
Where we gang busted, we stood in the same area. Now we are able to go here, go there, meet more people, unite with people.
Here's where the whole thing started to change. Little by little, that's when the music started to come into the deal.
All hip-hop came from gang culture.
Herc started something his enemies didn't want to stop. It came in the form of music.
It was more like challenging to dance now and not to fight.
You know, we made a way to have fun, and we made a way to feel like we counted, and we made a way to show the world that we actually existed.
All right. If you have not seen that documentary yet, I highly recommend it. It is very informative. But I also want to show you, not this, this. So the story that is understood by most people who study hip hop is that in the 1950s and 60s, the federal government of the U.S. had this urban renewal program where they wanted to basically build a bunch of freeways to make travel easier in big cities. But the areas that they chose to build these freeways through were actually neighborhoods. And so they basically demolished a whole bunch of homes in the middle of these neighborhoods. And then the federal program ran out of money. And so they basically demolished neighborhoods for no reason. And the people that couldn't afford to move out of these neighborhoods were pretty much stuck. And it was a horrible thing that happened. It did not just happen in New York, though. It was a federal program. So what's less known and less understood is what was happening in California at this exact same time, and even a little bit earlier, because in, for example, the community of Fillmore, which is located in San Francisco, the same thing happened. And Fillmore had its own expression of dance. So most of you might be familiar with breakdancing, spinning on heads, backspins, all of that stuff. That was what the kids in inner city New York were developing. It was informed by martial arts, capoeira. But on the West Coast, you had something called boogalooing or roboting or strutting. And kind of an interesting thing happened when hip hop went mainstream. The industry really only got to cover New York story and a little bit of LA's story, because that's where they had robust entertainment industries in those cities. The Bay Area did not get documented as much. And right now, Hip Hop Congress is working on an educational initiative to bring the Bay Area stories, which go all the way back to the 60s, pre-hip hop, but something that hip hop is kind of absorbed. If you have ever heard of the dance form known as popping, that was kind of the evolution of West Coast style dancing. But popping wasn't first. The Bay Area had boogaloo, roboting, and strutting from the early 70s. And there's a little trailer on some of that history.
I just want y'all to know where my dancing come from.
Pop-Tart, you had to be about 12 years old. Don't take this lightly. I picked you.
Strutting was very much a part of the culture of this city.
I'm really admiring Ronnie Green for carrying this torch.
You know, I love Ronnie Green for all he has done for the community and everything. Like, he was famous back in the day.
No one would understand the real book of the Fillmore area. Ronnie have single-handedly pulled a chapter back together of the entire book.
And I'm very appreciative toward this art form. I really want to thank you for putting me in the game when we did Missy Elliott. The energy he had, I mean, that's astronomical. Because Lonnie didn't even know, like, he was, like, literally my idol. Like, between him, Michael Jackson, and Sammy Davis Jr. This is DJ High Speed. I want y'all to all know this man's name.
So the West Coast, California. So that's a gentleman by the name of Lonnie Green. He was pretty much kind of like one of the last dancers to keep the art form in San Francisco authentic. And he is in his 50s. He was started dancing at the age of 11 and was given this mission to preserve this culture for future generations. So he has a master camp in the summer. That's some stuff that Hip Hop Congress does. I want to get into what we're going to do with you guys today, and that is learn some fundamentals of freestyle rap. Now, I have never attempted to cover as much as I am attempting to cover with you today before. So you're going to get a lot of information, but all of the stuff that I'm going to share with you is available on YouTube, or you guys can get in contact me, which will come at the end. You guys can always reach out, and I'm happy to share these things with you. But Rap Force Academy is the company that I created to allow me to teach everything I know about rap, and this is what we're going to go through. So there's an old saying that maybe your grandparents might know, that the 3 R's of education are reading, writing, and arithmetic, which is really weird because writing does not start with an R, and neither does arithmetic. So Rap Force Academy's rappers' 3 R's are reading, rhyming, and rhythmetics. We're going to learn what that is. Let's start with reading. Okay, this is an example of a flow chart. And can anybody, we're going to see if we can do this. Can anybody read to me this phrase, this quote right here on the left? You can unmute yourself and just read it out. Don't everyone speak at once. This is an interactive workshop, right? Can we get somebody to unmute and just read this sentence? Are you still with me? Where'd you go? Where are y'all? I'm not hearing anybody. Are you guys able to unmute yourself? Is it on my end?
You hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yes, please read this sentence right here.
Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables.
Thank you. Thank you. Who was that just spoke? I couldn't see.
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence. All right. So if you see on the right side of this, and I'm going to try to blow it up for you. Bring that over there. This is an example of a flow chart. Now, if you've never taken a musical lesson before, this will be your first one. If you have, some of this will be familiar to you. These symbols on the right under level 1, these are called quarter notes. And when we're talking about freestyle rapping, this was the biggest thing that helped me get comfortable freestyling. I always thought that a freestyle had to be, you had to think of a really clever rhyme on the spot, and it had to match the music. And I would always get hung up because I couldn't think of a rhyme in time and keep it on the beat. It wasn't until I figured out that that's not really the fundamental first building block in freestyling. It is not rhyming. Rhyming is like the icing on the cake or the seasoning on the steak. The real substance of what makes a freestyle is actually the musicality. And when we talk about musicality of language, we're really talking about the rhythm in which you say the syllables. So I want y'all to follow me, and you don't have to unmute for this, but you can snap or you can clap your hands. But what we're going to do is we are going to read this sentence 1 syllable at a time, and we're going to break it down so that every syllable comes on the clap. Okay. So if this is my beat right here, this phrase will sound like this. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Say it with me now. Follow the syllables. syllables. All right. Now, that might have seemed like really basic and easy to do, but this is really fundamental. Like it would be like if you were learning guitar, right? You're not going to learn to shred the first lesson. You got to learn how to play each note correctly in time and really break it down. Same way with freestyling. This is how we build it up. So if we were to add a beat to this, let's see what this would turn into. Okay. I'm going to do this again at level 1, the quarter note. Do it on your own. Read it out loud to yourself. We'll do it all together. Here we go. 5, 6, ready. Read the sentence. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. All right. Now, if that was like, okay, how can this be? That didn't sound like a freestyle at all. That was really your fundamental. You notice that I'm not saying entire words to the beat. I'm breaking those words down to their singular sounds, their syllables. The reason why this is important is because when we get it to the next level, which is, well, I should say the next part of level 1, we have an eighth note. An eighth note is twice as fast as a quarter note. If a quarter note is counted 1, 2, 3, 4, an eighth note is counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if we were to translate that to our sentence, this means that we are snapping or clapping on every other syllable in this sentence. So it'll sound like rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. All right, let's put on a beat and let's see how that sounds like to this beat. All right, I hope you guys are following along and you're saying this together. I have no way of knowing if you're just staring blankly at your screen, but here we go. So here's our beat. Boom, and here we go. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. All right. Give me some emojis if you are able to do that. They can be thumbs up. They can be hearts. They can be thumbs down if it was like too hard. But give me something in that emoji there. Okay, I see some brains being exploding. I see some thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, well, that was your level 1. We say these are beginning 2 levels. Still doesn't really sound like rap, but what it is doing is it's just training your brain to say syllables on the beat, matching them up to music. Okay, let's jump right into level 2. These are your intermediate levels. In music, these 3 notes in a group are called a triplet. We count it. 1 is 2 is 3 is 4 is and this one's a little tricky. It's not as easy, but it also does have kind of a cool flow. If we were to read this sentence out, this would be snapping or emphasizing every 3rd syllable. It's going to sound like this. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. Okay? We're going to try that to the beat, see what that sounds like now. There we go. So 1 is 2 is 3 is here we go. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. All right. So you should be seeing that we're not changing the words, and this sentence doesn't even rhyme. But when we're just changing the timing of the syllables, it starts to have a little bit of a different feeling behind it. Well, when we get to the second part of level 2, which is our 16th note over here, okay, this is actually average freestyle speed. So when most people are freestyling, they are doing a variation of this speed. You notice they're getting gradually faster. This is the 16th note. It's counted 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E, and rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. Try that with me one more time. Go. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. Okay, everyone has to go from your class. Oh, well, I hope you had fun with what you saw. Have a good time with this. The rest of you who are sticking around, we're going to get into the advanced. All right. Awesome. Okay, the advanced levels. Now this is where, you know, this is you're now we're getting into more tricky stuff, but if you're up for the challenge and you're still with me, we can still we can try this. So on this one, level 5, the fifth one down, this is the first one of level 3. Our triplet 16th is counted. 1 is a 1 is a 2 is a 2 is a 3 is a 3 is a 4 is a 4 is a. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. Whoa, that sounds cool. Bye, you guys. Bye. All right. I'm going to continue for those of you who can stick around. Let's see what this sounds like to the beat. Here we go. 1 is a 1 is a 2 is a 2 is a 3 is a 3 is a 4 is a 4 is a. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. 2 more times. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. All right. That's breezing you through the triplet 16th. There's only one left after this. This is the 32nd note. This is the fastest that most rappers even rap. This is your rap god level. This is your Busta Rhymes. This is your Twistas. This is what's also known as chopping. It is counted 1E and a 1E and a 2E and a 2E and a 3E and a 3E and a 4E and a 4E and a. All right. This is emphasizing every 8th syllable. And it would sound like this. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. Try it. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. One more chance. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. No, you always have more chances. Let's try this to the beat. Okay, I'm going to put this on, and we're going to try it 4 times. All right, at this speed. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. Last time. Rhythm is another level for anyone listening. Follow the syllables. All right. So now, with that little demonstration of reading and how you can take anything, you can, if you can read that sentence to a beat and break it down at the level, whatever level you feel comfortable with. The cool thing about this progression is that you can start at level 1, which was super slow, and you can build yourself up at your own pace. One thing I tell my students is to pick up a book. It could be even something that you are reading for school, and try reading what's on the page and just have your syllables match that beat. What that's doing is it's training your brain to speak in rhythm. And if you can do that reading, actually, it's a very easy step to go from reading in rhythm to speaking in rhythm. And what you want to get is so comfortable speaking in rhythm that you could just, like, somebody could just put on a beat and you just start talking as if you were normally having a conversation. You're just changing the timing of your syllables so that it matches the beat. You're bringing a musical element into that. And this exercise that I was just sharing with you guys, it's scientifically backed. The reason why it seems hard for people to freestyle if they've never tried it before, maybe it was feeling strange to you when you were trying this for the first time, is because even in school, we are trained to use certain parts of our brain by themselves. If you guys have heard of a left brain and a right brain, we have a left side of our brain, we have a right side of our brain, and they're responsible for different things. Our left side is our reasoning side. It's our logic side. So when you're doing anything academic, math, science, English, history, you are using your logical reasoning to learn whatever answers that you're going for. Your right side is more your creativity. It's also where your emotions are. So the creative side is like if you're listening to music, if you're dancing, if you're not really thinking about anything in particular, but you're just feeling yourself, that's your right side. So when you're freestyling, you're actually using the part of your brain that communicates between your right and your left hemispheres. That's called your corpus callosum. And that is the muscle, that is the part of your brain that you are firing off when you do an exercise like reading to rhythm, combining music, a creative thing, with reading, a logical process. So all of this stuff is just like anything. If you were to go into a gym and work out for the first time, you're not going to be lifting huge weights the first time. You got to build it up. Your brain does work like a muscle, though. It actually gets physically larger if you work certain parts of it with more time. So all of this stuff is pretty cool. So that was our reading element. Let's go to the next section. Ooh, we're doing pretty good on time. Y'all still with me? Give me some emojis. All right. Sweet. Okay, let's get into my favorite part of rapping, which is rhyming. So if we can speak in rhythm, then the rhyming, being able to rhyme is really like, it's just going to add more coolness to it, right? But this also can take time to build up vocabulary and remember what words are associated with each other. The thing that I want to really break down for you guys is that most people, when we think of rhyming, we are thinking of rhyming in kind of a limited way. We might be thinking of like, let's say I was thinking of a word to rhyme with grid. Oh my goodness, I just did. All right. Grid and did are a rhyme, but they are a type of rhyme. What else rhymes with grid? You could say bid, you could say hid, you could say lid. All of these are what are called perfect rhymes. All right. The reason why it's perfect is because it ends exactly the same way. For most people, that's what they think a rhyme is. They would say, like, let's say if there was a word that sounded similar but didn't really rhyme, like let's say grid and bridge. Some people would be like, oh, that doesn't rhyme. But it does. It's just a different type of rhyme. It's called a parallel rhyme. This is when the vowel sound stays the same, but the ending sound isn't exactly the same. So it's not a perfect rhyme. It is like a sound-alike rhyme. But if you are free enough in your mind to associate parallel rhymes with your vocabulary, you have so many more words that you can use, right? If you can rhyme bridge with grid, then you could use words like ridge, or you could use words like man, what else rhymes with bridge? Dang, I can't think of anything, but maybe I could rhyme it with rib. Grid and rib. Now, they don't rhyme perfectly, but they sound similar enough to where you could turn it into a rhyme, right? So, and that is okay. Your rhymes don't have to be perfect. When you start to incorporate parallel rhymes, you're basically combining lists of perfect rhymes, words that rhyme with each other. And now, let's say you have a word, you get maybe come up with 20 perfect rhymes. But imagine if you could combine that list of 20 with 10 rhymes over here, a list of 20 rhymes over here. Your options literally go from like in the tens to in the hundreds. So you have so many more options. And there's even another type of rhyme that will give you even more options. That rhyme is called a slant rhyme. And that is a rhyme where the words don't even rhyme. But the way that you say the word, you make it rhyme. So let's say, let's take a word like grid and edge, right? Grid, edge, they don't really rhyme. But if I were to give you like, yo, I'm here standing on the edge. We doing this thing right here at the grid. You see how I made it sound more like a rhyme by the way that I said my accent and the way I said it? So this allows more creativity to be brought into your word base, your vocabulary. And if you just get comfortable thinking in those ways, knowing that you have more options than just the average everyday rhymes that most people use, you can get really, really creative with this. Now, the examples that I just showed you, were all one syllable rhymes. So that's really kind of like your basic understanding of rhyming. You got perfect rhymes, you got parallel rhymes, and you got slant rhymes. But rappers like to complicate things. We're not satisfied with just rhyming one syllable. We like to rhyme more than one syllable, what are called multi-syllable rhymes. And this is when you don't just rhyme the last syllable in a sentence, you might rhyme the last 2 syllable sentences. Like, yo, right here, I got your eye contact. I'm ready for any type of combat. Contact, combat. You notice it's 2 syllables at the end that I'm rhyming. Okay, so now once you understand how to rhyme one syllable, you can do the same thing, but now you got to find the patterns of the rhymes going internal, not just from the last syllable, but the syllable before that, or maybe even the syllable before that, a 3-syllable rhyme, a 4-syllable rhyme. There's no limitation to how many rhyme patterns you can find with. And to demonstrate this, I want to share with you a video where I was literally teaching this class to a group of 5th graders, and I was breaking down the formula, and I was like, yo, with this formula, perfect parallel slant rhymes, you could rhyme anything. I don't care what word it is. If you just think about it long enough, you can come up with a rhyme for any word. And this one girl had a challenge for me. She goes, I bet I can think of a word that you can't rhyme. I was like, what's that? And she's like, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And this is what happened from there. That was a challenge that was posed, and I'm going to share with you the result of this to further prove the point that there is nothing that you can't rhyme. So let me make sure you guys can see this. Share again. And where are we at? Here we go. All right, this video is on YouTube as well, along with some tutorials that follow. But for now, enjoy this fun little song.
Everyone, it's Rahman Jamaal, and in today's lesson, I'm going to show you my formula for coming up with rhymes.
Just a little break from the norm. Here to tell you a story. Rap Force Academy. So I'm teaching this after school program, and I walk in and tell the kids, today I'm going to teach you how to rhyme anything. Anything? This one girl raises her hand. She says, Mr. Rahman, yeah, I bet you can't rhyme this word. I said, what's that? Let me guess. She said, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Who can help the average kid to spit freestyle the dopest? If you learn how to match a list of letters, that'll go with supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Then choose your route to travel in this quest around the globe. Since you are now a catalyst, unless you haven't noticed, move your mouth to manifest the best you have to show this. Using nouns and adjectives, now let's see how I wrote this. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. True, I have the data fixing every style I flow with. Used to have a fragile grip, I guess it's now ferocious. When you can rally activists directly out of Oakland. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is just superpowered magic with some extra balanced focus. Doing albums passionate with every album smoking. Humans out the alchemist unless he's out there boasting. With future hella swaggerlistic, sexy Cali dopeness. Proving how to rap is just me testing out the ocean. Music talent mastered with a message about to blow this. Universal algorithmic question out the open. So do your math and I'll be with you next to count the quotient. School is out of practice when you're left without the gnosis. So do yourself a favor, get your head around the flow, kids.
All right. So there it is. If you can rhyme, now that was a what? That supercalifragilisticexpialidocious 14-syllable rhyme. And I think it was rhymed like 19 times. Now that was not off the top of the head. Okay, so don't worry yourself. That actually took days. That took a lot of time to put that song together. But it was basically came out of the challenge, the idea. I didn't know if I could rhyme that when she said that. But we thought about it. We made a chart. There is a way of just visually doing this that allows you to find what word combinations go with each other. And it was really kind of weird. We did the chart in a class. When she made that suggestion, we filled up 2 whiteboards. This was wild. 2 whiteboards. We made a list for each syllable. Okay. So Sue, what are all the perfect parallel and slant rhymes with Sue? Per. Okay. What can we rhyme with per? Cal. What can we rhyme with Cal? All right. And all the way to the end. So we filled up an entire 2 whiteboards with words that we could, and then we just looked at all the words and be like, oh, we can combine that syllable with that syllable. It actually, a little secret, it helps if you start at the end and then build backwards. But so we came up with maybe like 2 or 3 in a 2-hour classroom period. And then I was driving home, and it was the weirdest thing. I was driving, and all of a sudden these phrases just started popping up into my head, because I had been thinking about the rhyme pattern for so long that it was like, wait a second, I could say this sentence works. And I had to pull over and write it down. And then I had a list of like these sentences that all match that pattern. And eventually I took those sentences and I thought, what's the best order to put them in? And that's how that song was written. So this, you can think of rhyming in a very formulaic way. And, we don't have like all the time to do that right now, but I just wanted to introduce you to the possibility that these things are all you can do these things. The human brain is capable of finding these patterns. The beautiful thing about that is rhyming is just one of those things that we love to hear. It also helps us like memorize things. So if you're thinking of like what's a good way to, like, what's a study habit, what's something that you got to know a lot of information in school. This is actually how I got through school. I started writing my first raps as school assignments. So if like I was having to write a report on Constantinople, like I had to think of like what's a cooler way for me to like just take this information. I asked my teacher, hey, is it okay if I write a rap about Constantinople instead of a book report? And my teacher was cool enough to say, sure, I'd like to hear that. And it allowed me to take the information, put it into a form that, that was fun, that was interesting for me. And it kept me engaged in school all the way through. And so, rap is not just a form of entertainment. I don't want you guys to leave this workshop thinking that only if you're going to make a living off of it and get famous can you can rap be helpful, a helpful tool for you. All right, let's see where we're going from here. Stop screen share. Let's go back to our next slide. Okay, so arithmetics. All right, let's get into this. So any questions? Actually, let me just pause here because I'm just going through, and I know I'm giving you guys a whole bunch of information. But if you guys want to like even throw out a challenge, right? Is there a word? Try to rhyme this word. You guys can throw them out in the chat, and I will do my best. Meatball. Okay, nice. Meatball. I saw a meatball. It was in a free fall. It got eaten by a donkey who went hee-haw. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Let me get back to wait. Okay, wait a second. Sorry, you guys are popping up. Purple. People think nothing rhymes with purple. But guess what? It does. Circle. No rehearsal. I saw a commercial that was purple. Okay. All right. What else? Silver. Oh, people think nothing rhymes with silver. But I knew a horse named Mr. Ed, and he used to go Wilbur. Okay. What else? Light. Okay, it's bright. Sometimes it's white. Sometimes it's black. Orange. The other one, people think nothing rhymes with orange. But you could open the door hinge. You could go someplace foreign. Manzana. Ooh, I once knew a girl from Montana. Garage. Let's see, a barrage of stuff from the garage. Or maybe you're from England and you say garage. Then it rhymes with carriage and marriage. Onomatopoeia. I bought a lot of chia seeds. Gotcha. Or you saying gotcha? Or is that your word? Oh boy, now they're popping up. Popcorn. I got it's is it hot, warm, or cool? Okay, sorry, they're popping up and they're disappearing, so I'm not catching them as quickly. But anyways, you see that if you take your time, rhythmatics, kind of sounds like arithmetic. Yeah, I like it. I like your guys's words here. And as MCs, we do discombobulate. All right, let me see. Discombobulate. I'm thinking of words like ovulate. I don't know. It just popped into my head. I'm sorry. Okay. Got him. Angelica. All right. Like I said, MCs will Philippines. Ooh, the vanilla bean, right? So MCs love to do things like this, right? We do a thing on Twitch. I got to shout out the Bay Area Theater Cypher. Actually, every Tuesday night on Twitch, we do freestyle gym, where we do things like we have a word generator and we put on a beat and we have to freestyle and incorporate the words. We do rhyme games like this. So if you want to hear other people try this out, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, you guys are welcome to follow Bay Area Theater Cypher on Twitch, and you'll see really and a lot of dope artists, right? And I'm just one of them. So let's go into, we got about 12 minutes left, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about rhythmatics. So rhythmatics is basically when we went through those 6 levels of rhythm, right? These are basically flow patterns, and when you're rapping, you can switch flow patterns at any time. They give you, like you said, with the like you saw with the just reading that sentence, right? Now imagine you're combining the rhymes with the flow patterns, and you're going to get something kind of like what this video is going to show you. So let me share another screen. One sec here. And boom. Where are we at here? Where are we at, rhythmatics? Where'd you go? Can I rap? Is that really a question here? Oh, you mean right now? Not like, am I able to?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
It's time for our warm-up.
Yes. Hold on. You must have come in late because I was rapping everybody's name at the beginning. But yes, I will rap towards the end. I just want to show you this one last thing. Here we are. Where are we? There it is. Okay, let's share that for you guys. I wish I could see all of your pop-ups. I'm like running between screens. Here we go. This is rhythmatics. Now here's what you're going to see. This is a rap, okay? But it's going to start at that level 1, that quarter note. Then it's going to go into 8th notes, triplets, 16th notes, triplet 16th notes, 32nd notes, which is our fastest one. And then it's going to go backwards, back into triplet 16th, back into 16th, back into, yes, that's me with my hair down and a hat. And it's going to go backwards until we end at the quarter note again. So starts off slow, gets really fast, and it'll end slow. But you're going to see how you can combine your rhythm patterns with your rhyming to make really cool raps. Here we go.
Are you ready? Take a deep breath. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, this is also follow along, okay?
And 4 and
1 is 2 is 3 is 4 is 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 is a 1 is a 2 is a 2 is a 3 is a 3 is a 4 is a 4 is a 1 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 4 E and a 1 is a 1 is a 2 is a 2 is a 3 is a 3 is a 4 is a 4 is a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 is a 2 is a 3 is a 4 is a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew. Okay. Now it's time to take those rhythm patterns and put words to Okay, so just listen to this now.
Start. your phrase in quarter notes or eighths when any term you can speak can be turned into 3, then start wording in 16th notes while you're turning up the speed until you're learning with me to start earning degrees as a sturdy MC who can burn any beat like a mechanical animal with flammable mandibles holding the end of a candle to the stem of a cannibal, bursting with heat till you're thirsty and need a big slurpee. You see me reversing the speed back into 16th notes, cause the purpose of MCing is to take instrumentals and break down the tempo so everyone can follow what we also call flow. Now, let's see if you can write some words to those patterns.
All right. So if you want to do a fun exercise, y'all can pick up a book. Thank you. All right. So if I were to start slowly, then pick up my speed, I'm grabbing random things in front of me, like my Bank of America statement. What's on this page? It says P.O. Box 15284, Wilmington. What is that? DE? Delaware. Sorry, I'm thinking too much. All right. So, yo, what is this right here? I'm gonna pick something else, a little bit more easy, fun to read. Oh, check this out. Camp Adrenaline. This camp includes team membership, weekly year-round premium team classes, and belt advancement, XMA demonstration team, stunts team. Yes, this is what we mean when we say rhyme things. We just get used to speaking up in a rhythm, and once you do that, then you can just be given a new way of communicating. Yes, this is illumination, the human state where we can see a world where everyone can be doing great with this type of flow. So you can try this right here at home. What's up with the thumbs down? Why don't you come round? Take your microphone off. Let's hear you just go off. See, I ain't afraid of nothing right here. Yes, that's right. Pressing those buttons. This is what we do. It's light years ahead of what most people have ideas of. So check it out. I'm getting phone calls. See, that's how we be doing it right here. Come on, y'all. This is what we do. Staying in the... Okay, right there. Hold on. I'm not going to answer that because we have 5 minutes left. But I will answer any questions.
Let me let you know a little secret here.
No, we don't
all
need
these
that.
online gurus out there.
No. We don't need you. All right. So I want to leave the last 5 minutes for any questions that y'all have. You guys can unmute yourself. Hopefully you got something out of this. Again, I'm just here to pass on information. But actually, wait, let me actually pass on the information if you guys want to get in touch with me. Last few slides here. So boom. You guys can see that. All right. So here's my IG, my Twitter, on Facebook, if you guys are even on that, Rap Force Academy. You can follow that. If you want to email me, rapforceacademy@gmail.com. That is my number. Text me first. I'm not just going to answer random calls from numbers I don't know. But if you're interested in setting up any lessons, I can help with that. If you want to know more about my artist work, my music, I have a lot of stuff out there. You can follow me on IG at Rahman Jamaal. You got to spell it right. On Twitter, Facebook, Steppin' Tall. That's my dance name. I'm a dance student. I won't say I'm like as good at dancing as I am at rapping, but my music is also up at rahmanjamal.bandcamp.com. The website is rapforceacademy.com, and you can also see more videos, helpful things, some of the work that gets done with all of this. I want to shout out Lucy Camp. If you're not familiar with an artist named Lucy Camp, she was one of my students way back in 2012. She is now an incredible artist, professional artist. She like blew up. So give a shout out to her. And then last but not least, I should go to The Voice. Thank you guys, are too kind. Last but not least, the Hip Hop Congress. If you enter high school, so one thing that we have with the Hip Hop Education and Equity Initiative, which is H2E2, is support for creating student organizations. So all you would need is really two more friends than yourself, 3 people to form a chapter, and a faculty advisor, someone on the faculty that would want to help you. And you guys can form a Hip Hop Congress youth chapter. And if you want more information about that, you can also email Hip Hop Congress Inc. You can follow the H2E2 initiative on IG, Hip Hop Congress on Twitter, if you guys are on that. And again, text that number right there. Websites Hip Hop Congress and H2E2 initiative have more information there. So just want to leave you with those resources. And now, with 3 minutes left, I can answer any questions. I hope you guys have fun. Good question. How much is it? So usually over the phone, like if we're doing it remote on Zoom or something, it is $25 for 30 minutes, and around average. Okay. But the lessons are tailor-made to wherever you're at. So you basically got the whole range of the type of information and things that we work with. Wherever you're at in that, you would basically get the lessons would be tailored to you. And again, any projects, any things that you're working on, you want feedback on, it's like that stuff comes with it too. Anything else? Oh, good question. PayPal works. rapforceacademy@gmail. Also Cash App. Hope you guys had fun. I have fun presenting with you. Thanks for all the interactions on there. And like I said, if you have dream big. The possibilities are endless. Never cut your dreams short. Whatever you can imagine in your mind's eye. I imagined a world where everybody knew how to freestyle, and it can those imaginations can reach you if you stay focused on them and believe in yourself. So that's my motivational portion of the workshop to finish with. So thank you all. It's been a pleasure. Rahman, Jamaal, have fun at the rest of your grid workshops. Much respect. Oh, is that Mark? Right on. Yeah. Good to see you on here, brother. Let's build. Right on, right on. That makes me real happy. I'm really glad to know that. Let's definitely build in San Francisco. All of that, we got great things on the horizon. So really glad that you were part of this and got to check it out. Right on. Most def. Thanks, brother. Peace.